professionals who can look beyond the laboratory and understand the complete journey from breeding to the marketplace. This is, excuse me, this vision is reflected particularly well in our ATPBR plant breeding webinar series. Every month, we bring together experts from around the world to discuss the technologies, science, business, policy, and market forces shaping modern plant breeding and, importantly, the needs of farmers. Over the years, this initiative has grown into a vibrant global learning community. We have conducted professional training programs, national and international conferences, and now 56 webinars, reaching more than 12,000 students and agricultural professionals. Our publications have further extended this learning, including the Springer publication, Market-Driven Plant Breeding for Practicing Breeders. Professionals from 66 organizations across 11 countries have participated in our programs, creating a network that connects learning breeders, including the Springer public educators, market-driven plant entrepreneurs, practice industry professionals across borders. Professionals from 66 organizations, numbers alone do not define ATPBR. What matters most to us is the community we are building. Community that believes that knowledge becomes truly valuable when it is shared, applied, and transformed into impact. And that brings us directly to today's theme. As we all know, in plant breeding, developing a promising genotype is only the beginning. The real challenge is to take the right genetics through trials, validation, and product development, and ultimately transform that genetic potential into a successful product that creates value for farmers, the market, and the company. In other words, breeding does not end in the experimental plot. It continues all the way to the marketplace. Today's webinar, therefore, takes us beyond the breeding laboratory and into the business end of breeding, where science, data, market intelligence, product strategy, and commercialization come together. We are delighted to have with us two experts from Agri Information Partners, the Netherlands, Mr. Willem Kruize, Commercial Director and Co-owner, and Mr. Wouter van der Veken. I hope I got their names correctly pronunciation. Product Manager, Breda. They will share their insights into how leading breeding companies connect breeding trials, product development, product launches, and portfolio management into one integrated product development pipeline. I'm sure this session will offer valuable perspectives not only to breeders, but also to the professionals working in trials, product management, commercialization, and portfolio strategy. And to guide this important conversation, we are fortunate to have with us someone who needs little introduction to many of us. It is my privilege to invite my longtime dear friend and mentor, Dr. Surinder Tikoo, Director ATPBR, to moderate today's session. Dr. Tikoo brings with him more than 5 decades of experience spanning plant breeding, education, R&D leadership, and the global seed industry, including leadership roles with Advanta, Syngenta, and Pioneer, as well as his work as an FAO consultant. More importantly, he brings a deep understanding of how science, breeding, business, and people come together to create successful products. Tikooji, it is always a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us. May I now request you to kindly take over and moderate today's session. Over to you, Tikooji.
Thank you, Sharan. Thank you for that introduction. And I think, as you said, we have a very practical webinar today, which I'm sure our listeners will enjoy. It's my privilege to introduce the two speakers today. Dr. Willem Kruize is a commercial manager and one of the owners of Agri Information Partners, a company specializing in software and consulting for plant breeding organizations. He works closely with breeding organizations on topics such as breeding data management, digital phenotyping, product life cycle, management, and digital transformation. As many of the breeders in the audience today, you know that this is what is now driving the plant breeding to its final goals. All these are very, very important tools that breeders have to use in their day-to-day work. So his focus is helping breeding companies accelerate variety development through better use of data processes and technology. So that is Dr. Jan for you. And he will be followed by Dr. Wouter van der Weken, is product management eBrida at Agricultural Information Partners. eBrida, I guess, is talking about electronics in plant breeding. That's why it's named. I am sure he will explain that much better. He specializes in solutions for plant breeding organizations, works closely with breeders, trial managers, R&D teams to improve breeding workflows, trial execution, and data-driven decision-making. His focus is to improve eBrida and help breeding organizations streamline processes and accelerate variety development through better use of information and technology. As you can see from their experience, it's going to be very, very useful to our audiences to understand how to take old conventional plant breeding using modern tools and take it to a success. I now hand over to Dr. Jan. Jan, over to you. And then I think you have 30 minutes, followed by 30 minutes for Dr. Wouter. And I request everybody to hold on with their questions or write them in the chat box. Over to you, Jan.
Surinder, thank you very much that I'm invited here with Wouter. We really enjoy that we can share our knowledge with you within this group, and I'm very honored to be part of this webinar. It was very nice meeting you in last year in India, and establishing our relationship, and also having the ATPBR group visiting our premises in Wageningen 3 months ago.
Yeah, I forgot. Thank you for making that happen in that tour of ATPBR to Wageningen and the other places. Thank you for that. Yes, please. Continue.
You're more than welcome. Today we're going to talk about from genetics to market success together with my colleague Wouter, and I will start sharing my presentation. It will be a dynamic presentation. We will show our knowledge, but also share with us the software solutions that we bring to the market and that you can use to develop your varieties and to introduce them successfully in your markets.
Are you sharing your slide?
I'll sharing now.
Yeah.
I believe you can see my presentation at this moment.
Not yet. Yeah, it's coming.
Not yet?
Yes, got it.
And you see the right screen, the full screen?
Yes, it's full screen.
Okay. So what the agenda will be of today, first I will tell you a bit more about our company, Agri Information Partners. Then we will focus on eBrida, our solution to accelerate data-driven variety development. And after that, we show you more about Mercado, which helps companies to turn target market trials into successful product launches and help you to trial your varieties in real market conditions to know which varieties perform best. So shortly about me, I'm Willem Kruize, born in the Netherlands. I've got a professional background in IT and agri-foods, coming from a farm in the Netherlands, and worked in that, then studied at Wageningen University, and also did a PhD there about integration of information systems and how to connect different systems to help companies in their information technologies and their information management. After that, I've been IT manager R&D for Exxon, and I was responsible for the global IT for all the R&D organizations, and also responsible for all digital phenotyping activities within the company. Now I would like to give the word to my colleague Wouter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're moving the slides. Okay, my name is Wouter van der Veken. I'm also Dutch. I'm born and raised on an arable farm, mostly working on sweet potatoes when I was young. That raised my interest in agriculture. That's the reason I got started at Wageningen University, where I did my MSc in plant sciences or agronomy. And at AIP, I have been involved in multiple projects with our breeding company customers, also doing a lot of requirements analysis, software development for these companies in which I was a project manager. And well, during my career at AIP, I've been always involved in the implementation of Hybrida, which is our breeding software platform, and Mercado, which is our product management and trialing software for finished products. And currently, I have a commercial role, and I'm also in charge of the roadmap, the developments, so the new developments into the software, new functionalities, new tools that we are delivering within mostly Hybrida. That's my responsibility. And the companies that you see, the logos you see, are a few of the logos that I've been working for. Well, and I hope to add some Indian companies as well. That would be great. So that's my introduction.
Thank you, Wouter.
Okay, thanks.
Then I'll tell a bit more about our company, AIP. On the left or on the right, you see the owners. We are with 4 owners, and we are completely independent. So with the 4 of us, we own the full company, and we are really committed to the future. We are rooted in Wageningen, have close collaborations with Wageningen University, for example, but we are reaching worldwide. We have our customers all over the world. And with all our customers, we focus on trusted partnerships, and we focus on really truly understanding our customers. That also means that we have a lot of people that have a background in breeding or agriculture, but also, of course, we've got our IT team that has all the knowledge of developing the best software solutions. And what all drives us is our impact and shaping a better future together. And I think that also links us very closely with the ambitions of ATPBR and your companies. So as agri-information partners, we are with 48 IT professionals, and we always focus on IT and agriculture. We are very future-oriented and always include the newest technologies into our solutions. And are always researching these, or collaboration with partners to know more about new technology developments. We are very quality focused, and we are already there since 2003 and have long-term business-to-business relationships and have a global presence. So what we do, we empower breeding companies in the agri-food sector to make complex processes and data manageable and meaningful. Our mission is to strengthen the management, processing, and optimize use of information for breeding and certification companies in the agri-food sector. Our vision is that we are the market leader in IT for plant breeding companies, and we will endeavor to deploy our unique combination of technical expertise and know-how successfully abroad. So if you look in what we are doing, we provide consultancy to companies to optimize business processes, integrate different data from different systems, support teams with deep sector knowledge, and ensure smooth implementations of software like Hybrida and Mercado. So Hybrida is our breeding management system, which we tell you a lot more about, and that will be done by Wouter. And Mercado is our product management and variety trialing system that focuses on commercialization of the varieties developed within Hybrida, which we also tell you more about. And with these software solutions, we can really go from genetics to market success, as we enable with Hybrida the variety development and create new genetics that you can bring into the market. And with Mercado to trial those varieties in real market circumstances, to know how your varieties are performing at growers globally or in your company, or sorry, in your country. and know which varieties are performing best to launch these varieties with based on data and with good confidence. So where do we participate? As you can see, that is globally. Of course, we are a bit more focused in Europe, have there more companies, but we have global presence in the United States, South America, Middle East, Asia, and also in Australia and New Zealand. Unfortunately, no customers in India yet, but we hope to change that soon. So if you want to know which kind of companies we are working, are a lot of different companies. So we are used to support a lot of different type of crops with Hybrida, and well-known names that are using our software are, for example, Bejo, that are using it, KWS, Plant Research International, so Wageningen University is also using our tools in their breeding program, UC Davis, but as you can see, many more companies. That's also the case with Mercado. Mercado is also widely used in the industry, and also here names that are well known are KWS, Bejo, Taki Seeds, Agrico, AZPC, which are all using our systems together with a lot of other companies. But I hear you thinking, but how are these systems connected and why are it two systems? We've deliberately chosen to create two systems to support the whole breeding pipeline. For the first pipeline to develop the genetics, we have Hybrida that is used by more than 80 companies, and more than 1,000 users are using this solution on a daily basis. And within Hybrida, we focus on creating the trials, creating new genetics. And when a breeder feels that the genetics are stable, that a variety is good to do pre-commercial trialing with, it can move from Hybrida into Mercado. And with Mercado is supporting, for example, product managers to trial these pre-commercial varieties in a commercial real-life setting of growers, and collect data from all these growers to test which variety is doing best, knowing which variety you want to commercialize, and have data available and growing instructions to your growers to show how they grow them best. And about Mercado, I will tell you more. We have chosen to make this two different systems that are well integrated, because we see and feel that breeders really have other requirements regarding to the systems than the more commercial people within breeding organizations. So they have two different interfaces and two different user experiences that really suit their needs best. Then I would like to give the word to Wouter, who can tell you more about Hybrida.
Thank you, Willem. So Hybrida is our breeding software platform, breeding management platform, different terms, but it's an IT tool. So a software that you will be using to organize and manage all the activities that you are doing within your breeding process, breeding operations. It consists of a very extensive pedigree book. A pedigree item is is our name for a genotype. So every unique genotype that exists or existed in your company is a pedigree item, and you can search and filter back over all your history through the use of the pedigree book, and see all the existing trait and trait values, trials where it was tested, etc., crosses it was used in, and you can and we have a visualization of the pedigree tree in there. Also, pictures are saved and captured with Hybrida. Next to that, actually, we have a trialing module, and the trialing module is covering your day-to-day operations. That's where you are working with the tool. That's where you are working with your team. So all your entries are sown or planted somewhere, and each of those trials are managed with Hybrida. And we support your day-to-day activities with labeling opportunities, and reporting functionality. So the labeling allows you to print seat back stickers, for instance, or sewing tags or field labels, completely customized. So when a trial is in Ebrida, you just hit the print button and all your labels for each plot are printed. Well, that's the setup of your trials, but you also want to capture the information, capture all the observations you have. So we have an offline application, which is a native app that runs on Android and that runs on iOS. You can install that onto a tablet or your phone and bring your trials with you to the field. So when you are in the field or in the nurseries, you don't need to be online. So if data coverage is bad, you can just capture all the information, capture all your pictures, even make pre-selections in the field. So if you see some interesting material in a segregating population, you can already identify those plots, take the observations and pictures, and later on when you are back in the office, at home, in a hotel, well, anywhere where you've got internet coverage, you can upload all the information back into Ebrida, and it's immediately available to the rest of your team. We have an inventory management module for seed lots and for plant lots. So actually this covers all your existing seed stock, and it covers all your existing or living plant material that is around in your company. And it's important to know that we connect every lot to its next destination. So if you sow a seed lot into a trial, it will create a family lot, and those, the trial is connected to its source. If you harvest seeds from a plant, the new seed lot is connected to the field, the exact plot where you harvested your seeds. So it's all connected, and it allows us to do very advanced, very well, give you good insights in the information, give you good data overviews back of the performance of lines, hybrids, individual genetics. So that's the operational part of Ebrida, and next to that we also have a separate data warehouse available, which is like a data lake, and you can connect or combine the Ebrida data with other available data that is, for instance, your production, your stock inventory, your production stock inventory, your genetic data, and run your own models like R or Python models or anything else that you work with. Do extensive analysis also on that environment. So that is Ebrida in a nutshell. And I'd like to show you now a live demo. So I will be sharing my screen. I present now.
I guess he's trying to share a video.
Wouter will be sharing his screen.
Yeah. Looks like he's probably sharing a video. Did he lose the connection, or?
I think so. I'll focus then first on showing you a bit more about Mikado, and then I see Wouter.
Yeah, maybe.
I will show more than first about Mikado.
Maybe send him a message. Has he lost the connection, or?
He's back.
I'm very sorry.
Oh, he's there. He's there.
Entire screen. Green one. There.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me for the
No.
the technological failure on my end.
Technology glitch will always be there.
Exactly. I was not used to grow, and I cancelled it. So it was my fault, but I'm back again. So this is the starting screen of Hybrida, what I'm showing you now. First, a little bit of background, and I will try to, well, talk slowly. Usually I start getting excited and talking quickly. So this is the logged in user. There is some access here about what is new, the new functionality, documentation. So you can access our knowledge base and our training platform. And Hybrida works with multiple crops. So you're not working with one crop typically, but the bigger breeding companies have multiple crops. So you can create as many crops as you have working with in your breeding program in your company. And you can switch crops pretty easily. So just by changing a crop goes into a separate database with all the genetics and all the trial information from the other database. We have a extensive function authorization or role model in which you can define different roles. So the administrator has full access to the tool, but you can also create a breeder, assistant breeder, and a field worker only that has access to the app, the online of the tablet or application. And this is something that you control. It's very powerful when you are working with multiple people in the same team. That is sufficient about the background. Traits are called properties in Hybrida. So a property is a definition of what you are going to score. So grain size, for instance, is the way the trait is named in your company. And there can be different data types assigned to a trait depending on what you are scoring. So we have several options. A text option is when you're scoring the remarks, an integer will be a whole number scoring 1 to 9, 1 being very bad, 9 being very, very good. So it also helps you, the property definition also helps you to characterize the way you are scoring your trials, the way you are capturing your traits data. Everybody working with Hybrida with the same team have to use the same definition of traits. We can even set up traits at company level. So for all the crops, your traits are defined. And then we can activate specific traits into specific crops. So that allows you to, from a management perspective, it allows you to track and trace specific traits for each crop. And also you can do management reporting, the number of trials, the number of plots, the yield that you have scored over different crops, and get that information all together. So that's about the background of the setup of the configuration of the tool. Then I'd like to go into the pedigree book. The pedigree book is an overview, a summary, an aggregated summary of your genetics, which we call a pedigree item. Every pedigree item has a unique number, which is generated by Hybrida. If you have an external variety, so something that is not created by you, you can also give it a name. The pedigree item type tells you how this material is created. So for a hybrid cross, I've used a code with an H in the name. So first the year 24, H for the hybrid cross, and then it's an automatically incrementing next number to identify that genetics, that hybrid cross that you've made. And at this level of a pedigree item, so at a row, you will find all the background information. First from the system's point of view, so the line origin, how is this hybrid created? Apparently it was a cross from Aria times Caroline, two external varieties. You can see the female and the male parent, which are different genetics when it was created, but also at cross-group level. So the entire, that's the level at which your F1 was created. That has the same number. And if we scroll to the right, you can get the aggregated trait values. So first, how many seeds do I have for this hybrid, but also what are the scores of this hybrid until, well, today. Of course, scores are generated on multiple trials. So if I would like to know on which trials this hybrid was tested, I can open up my bottom panel, and here in my bottom panel, I can see the trials where this one was tested, where it was created, where it has been sown, and what are the individual scores for those fields. So if I activate the yield trait, you can see the yield at the different trial fields, which is different. And then we use an aggregated value to display in the top panel. So in Hybrida, that's an important message. The information from a genotype is always connected to the trials, or the other way around. All trials are connected to the genotype. So you can always click towards or directly go to that trial by clicking it. And Hybrida will then open up this screen in a new window. So I can pull it out, bring it to my other screen, and start continuing with that trial, or downloading that information, or start analyzing it, whilst I'm still keeping my pedigree information. The pedigree book, or actually every grid that I'm showing to you, can be customized like you are used to in Excel. So you can move columns around to another position if you like that. You can sort on a column by clicking on the column header, clicking again. You can also sort on a column header and then sort on another column header. So by clicking again, it will first sort on the mother, and then it will sort by the cross group. So I will get all my mothers and then the cross groups. You can do that also on trait values. So if I'm looking for the ones with the highest yield, I can click on the yield column and I get my current pedigree items with the highest yield. There are many columns defined in Hybrida, so many traits are available. Your traits, the ones that you have created, can be activated and deactivated from view pretty easily. So if I would like to know the plant height also, it will be added at the most right position. And if I want to keep it visible always, I can also activate that. So our tool has several functionalities to activate and deactivate columns into view. And it allows you to customize the screens always to the phase that you are currently in. And it also has a pedigree book. So I'm looking for the hybrids. This a pedigree tree, so a visualization of how this was created. And in here, it will show you how this hybrid, so the blue color represents it is a hybrid, how it was created. And I can expand my 4 layers up to see how it was created. So in this view, you see I started with Aria and Caroline as 2 external varieties. They came from the market. They are both generation 1. There is also a display of the yield and the cycle length here. So my aggregated trait values can also be shown. Then I did 2 times a selfing, so an inbreed cycle. So I got in until a generation 3 for both of those varieties. And I combined those, F3s into a new hybrid. If pictures were taken, then the pictures are also displayed here. I can toggle that. I can deactivate my pictures. I can change the way my pedigree tree is displayed, depending on the preference of the user. I can also dive into the background of, for instance, ARIA. So yeah, I've used ARIA, but I'm interested in what else did I do with it. So if I set it as a root, I see that in my F2, once I've shown it, I've created 3 times an F2. So the coding, the naming is here visible as well. In the year 22, I made a selfing, the first one, the second one, the third one. And if I want to know what else happened, I can expand my pedigree tree further. And then you see if I need to zoom out so it's not readable anymore, or I change the orientation. So one area resulted in 1, 2, 3 initial lines that have been developed further. And the blue ones are hybrids, which I've created with those lines at some point. So this is a dead end line. This is a line which has, well, F4s, but also hybrids coming from it. And even here, I got into an F5. And if I open up that one, then it apparently still was a segregating line. So also at line origin, you can see that it was the first line from area, and then automatically numbered from my breeder, number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all lines are also identified individually. Well, if I'm not interested at my information at the detailed level, the genotype level, but at line level, I can also activate my line tree, which looks like this. So then you can see all the different lines that were created. So that's grouping the underlying genetics. So this is a very valued functionality, and our users are digging into this functionality or into the pedigree tree pretty often. But this is master data management. You probably all have a big sheet with, or multiple sheets for every year with all the entries and the background and information like the origin, like how the line is created, but also with your seed inventory. So a breeder also has a seed inventory. So this screen is displaying for each of the line origin is the background of my line. So for Zara, I have 2 pedigree items, 2 different genotypes, the one that I started with, and the selfing, the generation 2 seed pack that I started with. And the information about my actual stock, the actual harvested stock, if the stock is already reserved to be sown into a trial, I created a trial that's going to be sown in 2 months, for instance. That numbers are then presented here in the reserved stock column. And it also presents to me the stock balance. Do I have something left after I have sown or everything I've reserved? Germination percentages are available if scored, if tested. So that is all present in the seed stock, and it has the same functionality in the grid. So I can move my columns around, but I can also filter, and that's true for the other screen too. So we have advanced search and filter functionalities. So I can say I would like to filter for seeds that are available from, well, the 29th of June. And if I apply, so now I have 173 available, and the number reduces to 141. So only available seeds are now displayed in my list. And this filter can be expanded also with, well, the actual stock needs to be greater than 4. If I apply that, then I have only 101 seed lots left. So this allows you to manage your stock, but also search for the material that is alive and is available at this moment. If you like to know the mutations, then in the bottom panel, so with this little icon, I can activate the bottom panel, more information about well, this is stock mutations for this specific seed lot. So how did I get at the numbers that I had? So all activities related to the seeds are tracked here, whether it was adding a plot, so sowing, or I also have harvests in here, not in this one. So the number, the seed that were harvested is also tracked here. You can also see, so for instance, for this number, what are my pedigree item plots? So not only look into your seed lots, but also look for all the material that you have from this genotype. So it is sown in different trials. So FM means it's a population. And again, if it's blue, I can click on it and it will allow me to go into the trial immediately. It will open up in a new window.
Wouter, we have a question from Vinay. He's wondering if this tool also includes a breeding data analysis feature.
Yeah, I get to that. Yes, we have. One thing, and then I stop with this screen. Every screen also have the option to give an to highlight. Sorry, the actual to highlight rows, and you can say, okay, if the conditional I'd like to have the actual stock value is bigger than 5, then oh, that's everything. 50. So it will highlight all the lines that have a stock, actual stock bigger than 50. So this allows you to quickly, well, identify the ones that have enough stock or not. And in here, you can make selections of seed lots and add them directly into a trial. And by doing so, it will directly create a new trial. And within this trial, I say I want to have 120 plants. I can add a correction rate for my germination, for instance, or use the actual germination rate. And this creates a new trial with 13 new field plots, all directly sown from the seed lots that I selected here. And from here, I can also directly print my seed labels. So if I have a missing label, if I use my seed pack sticker, the preview is always a little bit slow, so I go into another screen to open up the trial that I just created. In here, this is my trials module. This is listing all the trials that I have here, and my new ATPBR trial is now displayed here with all the pedigree items and the from lot. So this is a new plot in a field, and it tells me also where the seeds come from. So finishing the printed preview. Yeah, there it is. And that will look like, well, that's a customized label template. That is then, that has the information of the pedigree, the lot where it came from, the actual stock when it was harvested, a QR tag that can be printed on it, so it helps you manage your stock. Yeah, and then I will go into the trial. So here at trial level, every plot has its own number, its own label ID, and the label ID is the actual QR code or barcode for your field. So this is actually a real field plot, a field label. You know where it came from. The TSW is available here. and it tells me the number of plants I planned, 120. The trial is not started, so if I start my trial, some stock checks will be dealt with. Then it shows me the exact number of plants, 120, but the weight is different for each seed lot because of the different TSWs. So Hybrida manages, within Hybrida, you manage your trial based on the number of plants that you would like to establish in a plot, and it does calculate that, transfer that into the weight. So you know exactly what is the number of seeds that I need to weigh to get my trials growing here. In here, we can also print labels immediately. For instance, a sowing label. This will be, if you print this and it's linked to your own printer, your tech printer, it will immediately print to your printer. But I use the preview so you can see it. So for each plot, you get the genotype, you get the seed label number, and you get a new QR tag for this plot. And the information that is visible in Hybrida can all be printed onto, well, the layout of the label that you are needing. So in this case, this supports, you are as a trial manager setting up a new trial based on the available seeds you have. So from the seed inventory, you create a new trial that results in having a specific trial layout, and you can print the labels that you can hand over to your team. They know exactly from the labels which seed bag they need to pick, count or weigh the number of weigh the seeds, and sow them and plant them into the field plots. We have functionality to change the order in a trial, so you can put a control variety at a specific position in a trial. We have experimental design options. This is a very straightforward option, of course. So we also have experimental design functionalities built in. So if you have a list of entries, you can say, okay, I want to have that in a repeated block, a trial, a randomized block trial. So we have several options for that as well. And you can always add another entry if that one was missing into the different trials. So first I will go back to the question that was raised. In Hybrida, we have analytics as a functionality. Here I have 3 trials prepared. And those trials are hybrid trials with the same entries. So the pedigree items in here are the same, 24H, 49 until the end. So if I select my trials, so suppose you're at the end of your growing season and all the information, the data is collected and saved, available in Hybrida. We can then go into our explore functionality, which is, we always call this basic analysis, and that allows you to dig into the results of this trial. And I'm interested in the performance of all my hybrids. So I first set my x-axis to the pedigree item, and I would like to know how the yield is performing over my trials. If I go into this is a box plot, so we have several chart types available. This is my box plot, and it will display for this hybrid 24H53 how it performed, well, in this case over 3 trial results. I can also try to group it per pedigree item. Well, that doesn't make sense because it's the number of pedigree items already, or group it, for instance, on the female pedigree item. So you get a little bit of an understanding of the performance grouped by your female line. We also have a scatter chart for that. So in the x-axis, I can say I would like to know the cycle length, and on my y-axis, I would like to see the yield. Also based on pedigree item, female pedigree item. So you can see, hey, what is the cycle length, the duration of my crop? and how is the yield then performing. So the scatter chart allows you to plot different observations, different traits over your trial results. And we also have the table view in which you get your raw data. So if I am interested in the performance of my pedigree item and I would like to know the average, the plain average values. So N is 3, only 3 repetitions available over these 3 trials. So what is the mean value for my pedigree items? And I can also sort on this. So I get my aggregated results, the insights, the basic insights on trial results. I started this analysis session, this explore session, from my selected trials. So in my trial list, this is the overview of all my trials. You can select which trials you would like to include. So you could also include trials from the year before or 3 years before. And also additionally, we have functionality here to filter out or to search for the trials that you are looking for and add them into your Explorer.
Wouter, there's another question, and that is, can we be able to make different designs for trials?
Oh yeah, I mentioned it. I did not show it. So from my trial list, if I create a new trial, there is an experimental a new let's say test trial, ATPBR designs, and I can check the experimental designs. If I save this, then it will asks me first which material, and these are the designs that we have. So I have a list of entries, and then if I put that into a randomized complete block design, how many repeats per block? Well, let's say 4. How many blocks? 3. Well, the number of plant plants, let's say 120. You set some trial detail, so the planting date by default today, but let's say you're going to start at the 15th of September. Then next, it will bring me to select material. I need to find my material. So here I can select some genotypes. So I'm not filtering, but you would be filtering here for the exact stuff you want to add. So 16 are added. And if I go next to my summary, I can generate, and Hybrida will now generate for these 16 genotypes, 16 entries, the randomized block design. So that, well, you can do the math yourself, but 16 times 3 times 4 will yield 192 plots. So this is the actual plot design. And we have the block and the sequence in block also available as a column. So if I sort by my pedigree item, then you can see that each pedigree item is in every block and is 4 times in every block. So that is the actual way that we have by which we facilitate experimental trial designs.
Thank you. That gives a good overview, I think, for Vinay.
Thank you. Here I am now opening up a trial which I have prepared, in which I have some hybrid materials and some selfing materials already present. This is the starting point. I start with full field plots with multiple plants, so 250 plants on each block. I would like to start taking my observations. So this trial has been sent to my tablet. I did enter a few pictures here already. So the blue dots are the pictures. If I open up my bottom panel, you can see those pictures. So plot number 2. So RF is Roberto. This is the Roberto field trial, the name I gave to it. And this is the RF is the customized plot numbering. So you can customize the plot numbering to really meet the way you are used to your plot numbering. There's two pictures here, and now I will go to my tablet to show the offline scoring functionality. Here is so I bring up TeamViewer to show you the tablet. So I'm not on the screen now, but yeah, opening up Abrida. So I'm doing the touch screen with the tablet. This will open up Abrida, and here are all my observation sheets. So all my trials are available on my tablet. I can go offline into the field and start working. First, I download my sheet. So I'm online. I want to download everything new. Maybe you scored something which is interesting for me as well. So that's now also available on my tablet. I open up my trial. So it's the first one here in quinoa, and the name of the trials. So you can see I'm also assigned to potatoes, to strawberries, to peas. So different crops. I open the trial, I get my trial list. So here in the background, you can still see the plots, and those same plot numbers are here. I open up my first plot. Well, that same picture is the picture I took in the field. So that's why it's visible on Abrida already. Here I can start scoring. Can I make it? No, it can't be bigger. So the plant height, if I click in this, it will bring up the keyboard, and it's 125. If I move my tablet, because I would like to see more information, so it enlarges a little bit. If I go to my resistance, I need to score 1 till 9. So I say it's a 7, and this is a predefined list. So I tap on the 7, and it immediately collapses and goes to the second resistance, which is a 2. And then grain size, it's also a list, but it's a text list. Well, the grain size is very small. The grain color, I have several options, which are pre-named, which are named by you. And I'd say it's Blanco. Then I get into a remark field, which is free text. So the keyboard pops up, and this is a great stem strength. So anything that you would like to add as a breeder. Of course, we all want to score based on the predefined values, but there always needs to be a remark, because you have always some remarks to add. The screen can be moved from left to right, and I also included some information from other trials. So the 3 trials that I just showed in the explore function. Oh, I close my tablet. That information is here. So the test trials in the Netherlands, in Spain, and in Germany, that information is now also here. And it is, Abrida is displaying this information based on the pedigree item that you're looking at. So hybrid 54 is tested in 3 other trials, and that information is already available here. I guess
Wouter, can we almost close the Abrida out? Can you finalize it? Then we can go to Mikado. Then we also have time for that.
Yes, and that's okay. So that information is then saved back into Abrida, so it would all pop into the trial here. I would like to show you a little bit on how the breeding flow works. So this is a trial that I just displayed to you. I have also created already pre-selection, so selected plants in the field only for the selfings. So those were segregating selfings populations. And in the field, you have identified 2 plants per plot. So Abrida creates subplot number 1, subplot number 2. These for the different hybrids. And you would like to self those. So here, I stop displaying my mains. They are still here, but I don't want to have them displayed. So I have all my pre-selected plants, which are now, actually my selected plants. And I would like to create new seed numbers for them. So I can here directly create inbred material. that will go into a trial. So here I have a seed stock trial, or pollination plan, we call that. It will be a selfing, so different kind of inbred types are available, but in this case it's a straight selfing. I'm not entering anything about the harvest yet here, so I create them, and Ebrida is now creating 14 new seed numbers for the plants that are ripening off on the field. So in my trial lists, that looks like this, the seed stock for the ATPBR. Those numbers, so 26 as number, well, 57, apparently the first available next number. They are here. They are not harvested yet. They do all have a label ID. So this unique number, 6446, I'm writing it down, 387. That is the label that you will print and attach to the flowers when you're harvesting. And so we also have the harvest functionality. And this is typically the location at which your fruits are brought in. So I'm scanning with a physical device. I'm scanning the tag that's on the seeds. So my label ID, my seed bag, my empty seed bag pops up here, and I can say, hey, I have harvested 5.37 grams of seed and save it. At this point, this new seed number, so this new pedigree item, this now is available with seeds in the tool. And so much more to tell you, but I know we are a little bit short on time, so I'd like to stop with this then.
Yeah, thank you, Wouter. And, thank you, Wouter. And as you can see, there are many functionalities in Ebrida, and it really speeds up your breeding, makes it very efficient. You can collect data in the fields, collect photos, and really speed up your breeding in that way. And we have a lot of functionality that we even did not show at this moment. So when there's more interest into what the tool can do more, we are open to, of course, discuss that further. And also how it can be linked to your data warehouse for data analytics and those kind of aspects to, for example, support data-driven breeding, which is also possible. I'll now go back to the presentation and tell you a bit more about Mercado. But before I start, I'm wondering who of you is involved in product management. If you are involved in product management, can you put a thumbs up? Then I've got an idea how many of you are working in this in that field.
Anybody who is in product development or management of trials, can you just put a thumbs up? Okay, there are people. Okay.
Oh, nice. Quite a lot.
I'll also do. I have done that in my life.
Nice, thank you. Then I'll go back to the. I think you now see the presentation again.
Not yet, but maybe it's coming.
I'm sharing the wrong.
Yes.
Now you see the presentation, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you just heard about our breeding system that really can speed up your breeding process and create new varieties that have the best traits for the market. But now, when you have those varieties, you want to trial them and you want to test if they are fitting the right market segment, the right climate, and you want to do that at different locations in India or all over the world. And then you can create commercial trials with farmers or distributors. And therefore we will use a Mercado. So at the moment when the breeder says, like, I've created the best variety and the best genetics, You can move that variety as a pre-commercial variety into Mercado, where you as a product manager can do a further trialing. So what we do with Mercado is that you've got your product profile ready. You can support your trial management and create all kinds of trials at external locations that can be trialed with an app by the farmer or other people, or you as a product manager to see how that variety is performing in those commercial circumstances, in those real life circumstances. And that's enabled by a product lifecycle management functionality that classifies based on your structure in which product lifecycle your variety is. Like, for example, is it still in the breeding phase? Is it pre-commercial? Is the variety commercially available, or is it not available anymore? And is it stopped? You don't have any inventory anymore and you're not selling it anymore. So that product lifecycle you can manage within Mercado. And based on that, you can assign varieties from a certain product lifecycle into your trials. You can also manage different product life cycles based on the market segment that the variety is in. Maybe you've got a variety for the greenhouse segment, but also for open field section. So you can create different product life cycles of that same variety. Also here with Mercado, you can collect data with a mobile app that has offline capabilities. We can we have a data warehouse, so you can share the data from both Mercado, Hybrida, but also other kind of solutions in the same data warehouse to do like your genetics data in the same data warehouse to do all kind of analytics. Of course, we've got a lot of APIs. One of the core APIs that is used by quite some of our customers is the variety API, because that enables that Mercado is used as your product information management system and can be, for example, connected to your ERP, but also can be connected to your website. So from Mercado, you can feed your website with all your variety information. So what Mercado does, it goes from variety knowledge to market-ready decisions. So with the product information functionality, we structure variety knowledge about how it grows, how it performs, pictures, all that kind of information is structured in your variety file. Then those varieties you can assign to trials, and with those trials you can test the variety in a real-life setting, for example, and collect very easy a lot of information from different growers or at different locations, and trial how that variety is performing and how it's performing in relation to other varieties. And with that, you can activate that information and decide with which variety you want to enter the market. So you're very sure that that variety will do well in a certain market segment. So with Mercado, we enable stronger decision-making about your product launches. You've got faster market readiness and can support the market easily because we can share reports, how the product, how the variety is doing, and share that, for example, easily with your farmers. So they've got product fact sheets and know which variety, how it's doing, and how they should cultivate it. And it's a lot less manual effort, like the whole structuring of all your information, all your data is done at a central place and can be put in reporting. So if you've got time, Wouter can also show the application shortly, but if not, I first show you some screenshots. For example, a berry performance trial, you can create different observation rounds so that at those trial locations you observe first round 1, for example, to measure the germination or in an early phase. Then you go for round 2 to measure the yield, for example, and you can see assign different people to those different rounds. And you can monitor if the people have already download the observation sheet, if they really are observing, if they have finished. So you've got a lot of control of all your people doing those observations, if they're doing them, how many visits they have done, and manage the people visiting the trial locations, or the farmers if they have really done the observations yet. So in that way you can collect a lot of information from a lot of different locations. And with a variety file, you can collect all the information of a certain variety, like the characteristics, the general aspects, have a lot of attachments regarding to the variety information, those kind of things. But also we can manage alternatives. So maybe you've got for a market segment a lot of alternatives. So you can keep overview of those alternatives and also compare these with each other. Also, all the pictures are stored centrally, so you can store and store those pictures as well. Based on this information, you can easily create PDFs that you can share with your product managers or with the salespeople, so they have got all the information that they need available. Of course, also this system is totally configurable, so you can include your own traits that you want to measure, for example. So, and this is based, structured by your product lifecycle codes. So with that, you can structure the phase of which, in which your variety is. And based on that, you know when you're ready for the market launch, because you've done, for example, all your commercial variety trials. There's also an extensive way to manage access rights. So you can really structure all the access rights between all the people. For example, salespeople can have less access rights than a product manager. And the admin can have all access rights, for example. So you can structure that very well. Also here we've got our mobile app that's quite comparable of what you've seen with the Ebrida app. And also here, just as with Ebrida, we can easily take pictures per trait. So you can collect for all your traits information, but also pictures that you can view again in Mercado or in Ebrida. Wouter, can you show some of Mercado?
Okay.
Sorry, my mic was off. There was some background noise here. I could do that for 5 minutes. Does that fit the schedule of the meeting, Mr. Tikoo?
Yes, I mean, you need 5 more minutes?
Well,
or
yes,
we can go into questions, just what you prefer.
Should we is that the last one?
It is. Jan Willem gave already a quite high-level overview of what Mercado did, so I think questions would be better.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, it was very nice to see the whole gamut of things that you can do to help the breeding companies. From the breeding start, you can probably exit from the slides. The breeding, the germplasm management, the research trials, then on to multi-location trials, and then even the sales and marketing organizations could use for product management cycle. I think, again, one more thing that's clear, that you have this at different operational levels. Breeding manager, he has control of overall, but there are filters for assistant breeder or technicians, which means the data is secure only with those, like the need to know basis. Everybody doesn't need to know everything, so you have those controls also. So I think I'll open first to the questions from the audience. I have a few questions. I will close it with that. Anybody who has a question? I think on the chat box, he has already answered the questions. All those were yes, they have that technology. Yeah, Debashish?
Yeah, excellent presentation. I have just one quick question. Normally, we are faced with side-by-side comparison of the test entry versus the checks.
Yes.
So, can one do with this app the pictorial comparison or data comparison side by side, either in the mobile app or either in the system? Thanks.
Yeah, like you are saying, paired comparisons of any two
Yeah,
entities, correct? Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, please.
So in the breeding in Hybrida, so when you are considering this from a breeding perspective, so you're working with your line developments, for instance, you've made 2, 3, 4, 5 separate lines from the same origins or different. You can create actually a comparison based on the multiple the history, so the multiple years back, and put that back next to each other. So we would resolve that by using our reporting tool. And that allows you to choose the way the data is displayed back to you, and also which traits of interests and which pictures should be included on the output that you are requesting.
Yes.
So that is not directly out of the box, but yeah, we do have several comparisons options available to resolve this.
But even in terms of hybrid trials, he has a Czech hybrid and he has a new hybrid that is doing well. So he can obviously get comparison of the two over the last, say, 2 years of trial data, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Debashish, I would expect that would be standard. Otherwise, it would be,
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, that would be, I'm sure, available.
Yes, yeah. Thanks. Thanks. That's there.
Thanks. Okay. Anybody else? Aishwarya? Alok? Yeah, Aishwarya first or Alok? Alok,
Sir,
yes.
good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning.
It was very nice presentation and it's very new to be here. And I have only one doubt, sir.
Yes.
The environmental influence will be very high during conducting trials.
Yes.
So using whatever the software tools you have discussed, how would you identify and account for environmental variability while interpreting the results or trials?
Okay.
Could you repeat that, Mr. Tikoo?
I mean, what she says is that genotype environment interaction, will your analysis throw out those? That's what she is asking, right, Ashwara?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, as I mentioned in the beginning, before I started with the presentation, Hybrida is the platform helps you to capture all the information, all the operational information, and then later on you would be analyzing the interaction of your genomics with the environment. So you would also be capturing what the environment was. And we have the data available for you in a data lake platform. So you can incorporate also weather station data, more accurate, actually, environmental data, and run any more advanced statistical analysis. So do G times E analysis in that environment. So we do provide basic analysis. I'm a little bit in doubt if G times E analysis is something that you would really already do in the tool. So at the end of through the platform, through the data lakehouse, you can run your own models. And what we also see with our customers is that if we provide a statistical analysis model, it's only half the fit. So our users always want to tweak the model, to tweak it not only to their own preferences, but also to their own crops and to their own background. So we provide basically a platform on which you can run your own R scripts or your own Python model or your own maybe proprietary model that is already available within your company to do these kind of more advanced analysis.
Can I add to that, Wouter?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I think you showed one of the graphics. Aishwarya, for that question, I would say the standard deviation of each hybrid over locations will tell you the environmental impact for that trait in any analysis. So I think that would be your clue to how much the environment is impacting. You saw that some of them average was high and the standard deviation was lesser, while as in some, so that means that entry does not perform stable across the environments. So I think that would be the clue. I don't know if there are any other statistical models that kind of do that. To me, the error variance in a RBD or any other trial will give you the environmental impact, more the deviation. So you should expect the least deviation compared to the check. Again, always compared to the check. So that will give you the clue whether to select a hybrid or a variety or not.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for the addition. That's and we consider this still as basic, just a preview or sneak preview on your data. But if it works already for the breeders to advance from that point, maybe it doesn't need to be very academic. Then you can move on with that. Some of our customers, however, do also use very much more complex models, and then the other solution that I just described is used.
It was
thank you for your addition.
So it was interesting to note that you said people can use their own own data, software that they are using, and they can use it by putting it into your software. Is that possible?
Yeah, we are fully equipped with APIs. So if the data is available, you can connect. So external devices like digital phenotyping, you can have those kind of robots flying, drones flying for you, collect the data, process the data, and have the processed data added into a breeder. That's possible. But if sometimes it's a whole different platform, then we combine the data at the database level and do an analysis on that information.
Well, that would be a USP, I think, because we use some known software vendors like Phenome, you must be knowing. There you have to use the analytics that they have. They also use based on R, I think, plus maybe others, but I don't think we can input our own software or connect it with our own analytical software. So that is a plus. I think one is Alok. Any questions, Alok?
Yes, sir. So basically, what I saw in the presentation, so what I understand, there are two modules. One is breeding operations, and other thing is a product management.
Yeah.
And I see there are a number of companies are different. So basically, when somebody is taking the license, so they can opt breeding operations separately, product management separately, or if they want, they can take both. So is that correct?
Yeah, that's totally correct. And that's what we see. Some companies like Bejo, KWS are using our full pipeline. But we also see that some companies use another breeding platform, for example, in the field crops, in the row crops, but then use Mercado for their product management and their variety trialing, for example. That happens indeed.
So
and we also.
Sorry. So let's assume if we are using some other software for the breeding operations, and we go ahead with you for our product management solutions. So how the information get transferred between two different platforms? How easy or how tough it would be to manage all those things?
That should not be difficult, because there are two ways to integrate platforms. We can all do it by automatic APIs. So then from a system says like, okay, my variety is finished, I want to share this information, and our system picks it up. We have these APIs.
Yeah.
But you can also do an export to Excel, for example, and we've got a lot of importing capabilities as well, that you automatically can upload, but just on a good Excel structure, can just upload all those data into Mercado, for example. And if you want to do analysis over the whole chain, then you can do, I assume that these other systems would also have BI connectors. So then you can also have our BI connector, the BI connector of this other platform, and then within that data warehouse, combine those data of different systems and do additional analysis upon it. If you want to compare how the varieties have been doing within breeding and within commercial, in a commercial setting, for example. So that are possibilities. Of course, we prefer that you're using both our systems.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, yes.
So within the breeding operations, there are different offerings like inventory management and other things, pedigree record. So if somebody is going for breeding operations, so they get all the package, or is it like for inventory management, but you have to take some other license or things like that? Or how does it work for breeding operations specifically, if I ask?
For the breeding tool, we have well, we actually license the application, so everything you have seen today is within the standard application license. And we license additional users based on the level of, well, full user or just only an app user collecting data in the field. And we work with additional licensing for, well, for the data warehouse, the data lake environment, or other additional APIs. So the standard package is what you get. That's what you've seen. That's also what you get. So stock inventory is not licensed separately. It's included.
So seed inventory is included of the breeding materials. That's what you showed today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Correct.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think Vijaya Mahantesha, you had two questions. You want to ask or shall I? Vijaya?
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah.
afternoon. So very nice presentation. Just I want to know, is it similar to Phenome or any USPs over Phenome? Just know this thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's quite similar. Oh, do you want to answer, Jan-Willem?
Yeah, maybe for us, of course, it's quite hard to tell if it's similar or not, because we are not using Phenome. We don't have extensive demonstrations of how the Phenome platform is working. So we don't have, probably you have more information than we have in this regard. But what we hear from the market is indeed that we have comparable functionalities. I think we are definitely, yeah, we are on the same level, I think. If you look into USPs, I think that one of the USPs that we have is indeed what Mr. Surinder also said, is that we have the data warehouse possibility. So you can get the data out of our system with this connector relatively easily and combine it with a lot of different other data and systems. And do your own analysis upon it. Also Power BI reporting, these kind of things. Another aspect is that we are located in Wageningen, and in that way we are very close collaborating with Wageningen University and have a lot of insights into new developments. We are also very well embedded in the Dutch technology ecosystem. So, for example, with digital phenotyping equipment, with these kind of vendors, we can relatively easy connect because we know them personally. So we can create these kind of interfaces, but we can also do that, of course, with vendors from India. But we are very, I think, on top of the new developments that are there.
And we are privately owned.
And we are privately owned, indeed, and not by venture capital or investors.
Okay.
Okay, thank
And
you.
there's one other thing I'd like to add to
Yes,
that.
please.
It's the fact that we have separate tools for, for the breeding. So breeding program management program, and we have a product management development trialing program that's separate. So you're not and built completely into one big tool. You have the ways to fine tune it to your operations.
Thank you. And I think you didn't talk about is the genomics platform also included yet or not yet? And what about the today's phenotyping? Because then the big data and the algorithm will be required to convert that into data. Is that also included or not yet?
I can tell first about, Wouter can take the question about the genomics. I can take the question about the digital phenotyping. What we do is you can make pictures within our tools. and you can have data and image analysis on the background. So we can link our system to a data analysis platform to do your data analysis and then get the trades back. We've got several of these kind of integrations. Sometimes the picture is made outside of a system and we only get the results back into our system. And we can also make the picture with our app, send it to an AI platform to do the image analysis and get the values back into our system. So we have those kind of integrations. We don't run it within our platform per se, because there are a lot of different type of analysis that you want to do as a breeder. And also from a performance perspective, we prefer to keep it into well connected, well integrated, but into different locations, like that the performance keeps very good.
Thank you. And Wouter, on the genomics?
Yeah, well, we do have a marker-assisted functionality. So marker-assisted selection is preset laid out within Hybrida. I didn't show that, but you create a trial, put all your seedlings in there. They're all individually labeled, and you can leaf sample them. The leaf sample IDs are sent to the lab. You get the results back, and based on the results, you make your selections on those, well 20,000 plants or more, whatever. That's just a connection which we pre-manage within Hybrida. So results are saved on the right IDs, and you can make the right selections. And that can also be automated through APIs. On the genomics side, there's not a dedicated genomics module within Hybrida, but our customers are using those IDs the same way that I presented it already to do, for instance, to work with their lab or their genomics departments to do genomic selections. If you run medium-sized SNPs, those SNPs are run on the IDs from the plants, the plantlets, the leaf samples, that is processed in your own proprietary environment. So we do not provide those genomic models. We do not have those those models available within Hybrida. Again, for the reason is that you're probably better at it, or if we provide something, you want to tweak it. And we also believe those models give you a competitive edge. So it is important for you as a company to develop your genomic models in such a way that they are your proprietary tool. The results, however, can be loaded back into Hybrida or sent back to the team. So you do make the right selections on the actual plants in the field. And that's what you continue it into a new trial or into your crosses. Anything I'd like to add to that is, from a roadmap perspective, is that we are developing a new, in the data lake platform, we are developing such an infrastructure that you can run, for instance, your AI models or existing prediction models, cross-prediction models already there. And there will be something from our side, but we still work from the assumption that it must be an open place where you can put yours in.
Thank you. That's a good thing to have, because even if we have our own, it can be, the results can be uploaded into this platform, and then you can take a collective decision based on both the genomics and the field trial data.
Correct.
Thank you.
And that's
Again,
not by many of our customers.
Okay. Thank you. Indresh Verma has a question. Can you read it, Jan, or should I?
Yeah, the question is it 100% compatible with field crops, especially like mustard crop, in relation to crop reproduction and breeding aspects, in contrast to area and dimensions covering in field crops with respect to vegetable breeding? I think, Wouter, can you tell a bit more about, is it compatible with field crops like mustard?
Yeah, that depends a little bit on the actual question. So what I read here is it's also about the reproduction, so the factor in which you can produce seeds, I guess. So yeah, we have the option for the physical for the experimental trial layout. the line developments, and I assume, I'm not sure about mustard specifically, but maybe an open pollinated crop. So you're very much focused on the production of your seeds for the mustard production. So I guess it is this we can facilitate this. A little addition from our way of working. So every time when we demo the tool, we demo it from our perspective with a little bit of your input. But that's the first step. We actually would like to know much more about your crop, the way your company is set up and organized, so we can match Hybrida to the way your company works within breeding. So I find it a little bit difficult to say straight out, yes, of course, that would be a little bit too commercial, but I'd say we should explore what exactly it is that you need within a breeding tool, what your requirements are, in order to say straightforward yes.
Thank you. I think that answers most of the questions. There is one, where to look for if one is interested in buying this software. Talk to ATPBR and Jan. we can help you connect. Yeah. Debashish, that's possible. You can also talk to them directly, but yeah, we can help getting connected with them. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
I think I have only two questions from my side. Number one is, I guess everything is cloud-based, and the cloud is securing everybody's privacy. Is it a central cloud, or do you also allow people to have their own cloud?
We can host it. It's cloud-based. If it's really needed, it can also be hosted in a private cloud, at a company's private cloud, if that's a requirement.
And finally, is there a costing that you have in mind? For what kind of costing do you have in mind, or is it too early to talk about that? How do you like, is it per user base? Is it company based? What is the model?
Yeah, we can tell you more about the pricing structure. About the pricing itself, we cannot share that in this setting.
Yeah.
But the pricing structure is that we sell that we have an application, and then you've got certain licenses with it, like user types. And then based on the amount of people using the software, we license that. So it's like if many people are using it, you pay more than when less people are using it. And that makes that our customer base is really diverse, from relatively small companies with 1 or 2 breeders in it, till companies like Bejo, KWS, where a lot of breeders are working with the software. So we can adapt the price on the usage, and that's both with Mercado as with Hybrida.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not a license based on the number of crops that you have active runningly in your program.
Sorry?
It's not based on the number of crops. So if you work with 2 breeders on 10 crops, it's the same price if you work with 2 breeders on 1 crop.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a USP. Thank you. That's a USP. Thank you. I think we will take that discussion forward, because let us see how many people are interested. We will try and explore it also with the people. Thank you very much. I think it was a very, very, very clear, interesting talk by both of you. And I think these tools are needed by the companies more and more. And today, almost every other day in India also, there's a new company opening. It's become a big business now. We have, I think, more than 400 seed companies, and I'm sure out of that, 100 are probably having their own research. So it will be good, that because it increases the efficiency of their decision making, right from breeding.
Oh, yeah.
And also it improves the IP of the company, because you can clearly show where it came from, even if it is used a third party, like you said, area and all. I mean, the international law allows you to make one self or make one cross and then do your breeding. So that is legal. So, but you will be able to, in case somebody is having a dispute, you can show that pedigree completely. So that's another very, very good idea. I thank you. I think thank everybody. We had good interaction by all. Krishndar Dwivedi ji, you can talk to me and मैं आपको हिंदी में समझाने की कोई, I'll try to make it understand in Hindi. आप schedule a call with us through ATPBR and हम आपके साथ बात करेंगे. तो अगर आप breeding में interested हैं तो आपका इसका कैसे कर सकते हैं बोल सकते हैं. Okay. So is the PPT available to people, Jan? Is there something like your presentation that we can share with the people?
Yeah, I can share the
Please
presentation.
share that and we will share with our, platform.
Actually, I already shared it with the ATPR
Okay.
administration, so you have it.
Okay. Then Aparna will share it with the rest. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you all. Thank you both of you spending your early morning on a weekend. Have a nice weekend, and I hope we can take it forward very soon.
Yeah,
Thank you,
for the
everybody.
audience.
Have
Thank
a
you all
great day
for
and a
joining.
great weekend. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You deserve
Bye-bye.
it. Yes. Bye-bye.